Welcome to the first class of Gardening 101. I'm Professor Porter, and I want to thank you for joining us on this journey. Our course meets Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays and covers everything you need to know to get started in your garden. All course materials, resources, and assignments are available on YouTube and in the description tab, and you can also join us on TikTok or YouTube where you can share questions, experience, etc. as we move along. Now let's get into it. Essential tools of the trade involve a few things. Let's talk about those. These are going to become your trusted companions on this journey, and think of these as your friends. So you want to treat them very well. First, a good pair of gardening gloves. Look for water-resistant gloves with a good grip. These protect your hands while allowing you to feel what you're doing. And here is a quick tip. If you have several gardening areas or beds or locations, you may want to consider having a dedicated set of gloves for each area to prevent the transmission of diseases. Otherwise, just be sure to wash them thoroughly before moving to other areas. Gloves are also important for protecting you from soil-borne microbes that can cause illness later. Next is the humble trowel, essentially a small handheld shovel that will be your go-to tool for planting, transplanting, working with soil and other implements, and in smaller areas. Pruners are another essential tool. These are strong scissors that will help you trim plants and cut back dead growth and harvest your food. And all of these, you want them to have a metal construction, and you want them to have a soft grip that is good for your hand. What's good for someone's hand is not necessarily always good for yours, so make sure it feels comfortable for you because you're going to be using it quite a bit. Also, don't forget the watering can. 2 gallons should be good, and while a hose works well for larger areas, a watering can give you precise control. It also allows you to mix liquid fertilizer in smaller quantities and deliver it directly to specific plants, since not all plants have the same nutrient needs. For your first activity, I want you to create your own personal gardener's toolbox. What you want to accomplish, and you want to then think about your budget, and then I want you to think about your budget. Have a budget. Know what you want to look like, and have a budget, and be diligent and stick to it. That's another big quick tip. Budget. Also, be thinking about your available storage space. Once you get these items, you're going to have to store them somewhere in a manner that keeps them safe so that you can pull them out later. And you also want to start thinking about the types of plants that you want to grow. Okay, I'll have another video on how to select those. I'll go into more about the extra credit videos in a moment. Today we're also going to learn about one of the most crucial aspects of successful gardening, that's understanding your growing space. Whether you have access to a sprawling backyard or a cozy balcony, there's always room for a garden. So let's talk about the options. For balcony gardeners, vertical gardening is going to be your best friend. Wall-mounted planters or hanging baskets or tiered stands can transform small spaces into a green oasis. If you're working with a backyard, you have the flexibility to create different growing areas, perhaps a vegetable patch in one corner and an herb garden near your kitchen. Don't have either? Consider joining a community garden. These shared spaces often offer plots for rent and come with the added bonus of built-in community of fellow gardeners. Now let's talk about the most important factor in plant success. Location. Sunlight is your plant's food source. Most vegetable plants need between 6 and 8 hours of direct sunlight daily. However, some herbs and leafy greens can thrive in partial shade, or what they call dapple light. Wind exposure is another crucial factor. Strong winds can damage delicate plants and dry out soil quickly. Consider natural wind breaks or plans to create some with sturdy plants or structures. Your second activity, mapping sunlight patterns. This week's activity is crucial for your gardening success. You'll create a sunlight map of your growing space, and here's how. Draw a basic diagram of your space, then mark the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west on this map. Observe and record sunlight patterns at 3 different times: morning around 8 a.m., noon, and afternoon around 4 p.m. Note any structures or trees that cast shadows. Track these patterns for at least one day. Through a week will give you an even better understanding of your space. There will be a link to directions on how to do this in detail in the description section of this video on YouTube. Now keep in mind, patterns change over the span of the year. Remember, understanding your space is the foundation of successful gardening. In the interest of time and to provide extra support for those who are ready to learn a little bit more, I'll be posting videos called Beyond the Basics, and they are completely optional. I just want to help you all get AP credit for the lessons that I already learned in the Planting School of Hard Knocks. So you really want to check out at least a couple of them. They will be very detailed but valuable. In our next class, we'll discuss soil preparation and plant selection. And I want you to remember, every seed you plant is a promise for tomorrow, and every garden begins with a single hopeful act. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next time.